Collector on the corner,
Hi, Collector.
and one of the toys I bought at the auction the other day,
Uh-huh.
and I'm kind of tickled with it. I'm kind of tickled with being able to buy that as I am them cheap tractors and the Pontiac and everything else.
What about me? You paid for me.
Years and years ago, this guy bore out the engine block for him,
Uh-huh.
and we went over to his shop. We went in there, and he was finishing up boring that engine block. He's on the last two cylinders.
Yes'm.
And I just sat down there where I could watch him. I didn't say a word, sit on the bench. And that guy that was having the block board, he kept picking up stuff and talking to the guy. And you could tell the guy was getting irritated. He picked something up, and the guy went over and took it away from him and put it down and pointed to the chair. And he got done boring them last two cylinders. The guy went to pay him. He said, "That's $100 more than you said." He said, "Yeah." He said, "You should have did like that kid there and said, sit down and kept your mouth shut till I got done." He said, "That's for bothering me." He said, "Don't bring me nothing else." He said, "I told you to come at 4 o'clock and you show up at 2 o'clock. This and that." He was pissed off. But I watched him bore them two cylinders. And this was 60 years ago. I was a little kid. And I was thinking, I'd like to have one of them. If I had one of them, I could bore them old engine blocks out myself. So I have to pay somebody to do it. So, I know a little about boring bars. I've studied on them over the years, thinking about something for 60 years. And at that sale,
Yes.
I've come across this little jewel right here.
Yes. I know you showed it to everybody.
And what this is,
I know it's a
no,
board.
I ain't showed it on video.
Oh, I thought you
I
did.
told about it.
Oh, you told about. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
This
he
is a
showed it.
Van Norman
Van Norman.
900 series. The difference between 900 series and a 777 series is 777 2-speed, and this only got 1 speed.
Oh, I thought maybe it was the price.
The 1 speed is extremely slow.
Well, you're 70 years old. You need to be extremely slow.
Yeah, well, I don't.
Well, dadgum, it ought to be on rollers as big and heavy as it
They
is.
said
Yeah.
you need something less this with unless you're Hercules.
Okay, are you Hercules?
No, but I'm Randall.
Oh, yep. Oh, jeepers creepers.
Okay. The way this works, I have to get it out.
Okay, Hercules, how come when I need you to do something, you're like, oh, my back? Now I know why your back hurts all the time, Hercules.
I got a T-handle somewhere.
Well, don't look at
I'm
me.
looking for it.
You got that thing over there.
Yeah, that's the T-handle I'm looking for right there.
So that's why you had me.
No, that ain't the one.
So I can help you find stuff?
No,
Uh-oh.
that's not the one.
Well, where'd you lose it at?
Right here. It's not a T-handle. It's got a knob on it.
Dadgum, that don't look nothing like that other thing. Maybe you need to look with your good eye, Jackie Lamb.
This piece right here.
Okay.
You stick that under the edge of the
Well, here, let
down the
me.
board and stick it under the edge. And you run this out.
You gotta let me get it good. Run it out. That looks like a dull pocket knife almost.
Anyway, you run that out and it butts against the cylinder wall right here. See?
Whatever you say, dear.
It tightens up in there.
Okay, I believe you.
But you got to do it way down at the bottom.
Gotta do. Now that's bottom enough.
Yeah, well, I dropped it all the way through.
Hope you guys can see because he's got his hands in the way. Can you learn to do that without your hands so we can see stuff? Oh boy, it's in there
Okay,
now.
you screw this on up.
Okay. I'm not touching that.
Anyway, you screw that up.
Yes. Did you
hooks in
take your doohickey?
to right here.
Take that doohickey.
And this is one somebody's made with square piece. It's a homemade
Oh,
one.
sorry, I'm moving too far down.
But that hook's on there.
Hooks on there.
And when that hook's on there, this goes in there.
That goes in there.
And when you tighten this, when you tighten this down, and that's on there, it's supposed to be further back. See?
It's not on it.
You just tighten down snug. And then on this end,
Yes'm.
I'll spin it around.
Don't lose.
On this end,
On this end.
it's got 4 little deals that come out.
Uh-huh.
There's 4 of them. I'll see if I can crank it down.
Oh!
Well, I just knocked that down.
I know.
But 4 of these, and they come out. You adjust this, and they'll move on out. And they move out against your board, and it centers it in the board. And after you center it in the board, you tighten this on down where it don't move no more.
Right.
You take a feeler gauge, and you go all around here with a 1,000 feeler gauge to be sure you can't get a feeler gauge under there. Be sure there ain't something under, a little chip or something that make it rock.
Why don't you just use a hone? like
And
a
then when
brake
you
hone
turn
or
that
something?
on,
Yeah.
you push this in.
And what's
And when
that
you
do?
push this in, that makes it feed.
Oh, makes
But you don't
it
push
feed.
this in
until
after you put the tool in there.
Yes.
Okay. This right here is your cutter,
Your cutter. Okay.
and it fits. Let's pull that back out. The cutter fits right in here.
Okay, right in there.
Goes in like this.
It goes in. Yep.
But your cutter goes in there.
Okay.
But what you gotta do, you gotta take this mic
Yes. Hi, Mike.
and you stick it in there and you mic it. And there's different lengths of these deals that goes in the end here. And you start out with the one that's set up for, say you got a 327 Chevy 4-inch bore.
Okay. Have you got a 327 Chevy?
Yeah, I've got some. But, and you want to bore at 30. Well, 30 thousandths, you don't want to set it 4.030. 30 thousandths, you want to set it 4.28 thousand, leave 2 thousandths for honing.
Okay.
So, you adjust that right there with this little hole here. There's a little pin here. See this little hole? You adjust the length of that and you read it on your mic where you got it. But that's the main tool you need.
I thought you told me.
And here's some more of them cat's paws.
I thought you told me you needed another mic. And
No. Okay. And then that feeds down through there. And once you get into the bore, you've set it, say you started out with a 4-inch bore, your cat's paws is out there at 4 inches. Well, they're 28 thousandths loose when they get in the bore. And these Van Normans, you can adjust this to where they're barely touching the bore, fresh bore that you just bored. And that makes it more steady all the
Okay.
way down.
Okay.
And you can tell by the sound of it if it's cutting right. And you want to be sure when you get to the bottom, you don't go on too far past and hit your main journal webs and tear something up. There's an automatic stop right here. See, there's a switch, on and off switch, and this little deal right here, you can adjust this automatic stop for how much stroke you want that thing to have. You can adjust that, and that goes down, and it'll turn. When it goes down, it'll turn and turn your switch off.
Wowza.
But anyway, on top here, you stick this on here,
Gosh, there's a lot to remember.
and this is a diamond wheel.
Here, your door is open. I gotta.
And you can put your cutter bits in this little tool right here and sharpen them
Wow.
if you want to.
Wow.
You can
that's-
resharpen them right here on top of
I mean,
this.
golly, that's pretty cool.
That'll resharpen your
Can
cutter
I
bit.
bring my knives from the house over here and sharpen
Okay,
them? Yes.
I can't start using it till I buy myself some more mics.
See, I told you.
I've got
needed
enough
more mics.
micrometers to make a crankshaft. but I ain't got one that's big enough to make a bore. And what I got to do is get me some snap gauges, fit down the bore, where I can measure the bore after I've started boring it. And then you take that snap gauge and you make it and be sure where you're at, because I can set that at 4.28 thousandths on a 4-inch bore, and I can decide that, well, that's what I'm doing. But unless I've got a way of measuring it, I don't know for sure that I'm cutting it out right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to practice on a bunch of old blocks that I got that have been froze and busted, and I didn't haul them off for scrap 20 years ago.
I know.
I wouldn't haul them off for scrap. They said, why don't you haul them off? Well, one of these days I might find a boring bar and I'm going to use them to practice with. And one of these days is here. But I got to get me some bigger mics.
All right.
And I've never bored a cylinder before.
But you've bored me.
But I've watched a bunch of videos.
You bored me to tears.
That's the beauty of YouTube. There's videos on everything.
I know.
And I watched a bunch of videos, and I bought this for $430. And I think it was a bargain of the day. I've got a friend.
Bargain of the day.
I got a friend that I see at the auctions all the time. And I like him as a friend real well because he's not interested in the same things I am. He's interested in small items that he can buy, and he sells stuff on eBay. And I mean, that's what he does for a living. He makes his living by going to auctions, buying stuff, and reselling on eBay. He makes a pretty good living, too. I'll tell you how good a living he makes. He told me he got in some IRS trouble.
Oh, jeepers.
Anyway, but...
Don't tell on people like that.
He helped me load this in the back of the truck.
So
but I took it out myself.
So now he's got back trouble.
Yeah, I took it all out by myself and put it inside, and I brought
I would have helped you, but you didn't want my help.
You would have helped. I brought it out today and set on this OH block just for demonstration purposes. This block don't need more because it's sleeve block, and it's the one we heated and used porta power and everything else to pull the pistons out of and got the sleeves out. Good H block. Good engine.
Is it good still?
Yeah, it's good. You could rebuild it, put new sleeves in it.
Darn.
It'd be a good block.
I was thinking, Ricky Walker, here we go.
But anyway, I got most of the tooling with it. This is some oil for it. There's a screwdriver with a hook on it you use to release that cutter bit.
See, I would have never thought that.
If I could run across them, I'd buy some more cutter bits. And I've got a second one of these little jigs that you can use to sharpen your bits.
Wow. Great. I mean, yay.
And
you know how hard it is not to say wow?
But I don't know what, I'm not a machinist. I ain't going to claim to be a machinist.
He's not.
But I'll be able to bore my own block.
He can't even run the washing machine anymore.
You don't use a rag or anything or compressed air. You use a brush and brush your chips out of the way.
Well, I wouldn't use that brush. It looks like it's seen happier days.
No, that's still in good shape.
Really?
That's probably a quality made. But this is a Van Norman 900 Perfecto.
Yay!
Anyway, and it wasn't at that sale, but it was one of them things when I seen it in that box, I said, that ain't what I came here to buy, but it's, I didn't know it was here, but this is what I came to this sale today to buy. I made up my mind I was going to buy it if I all could. And me and my buddy was talking, and he said, how much you think you'll give for willing to give? I said, well, somewhere around the neighborhood of $500. He said, if you'll give $500, you'll buy it. I said, I don't know. Just depends.
Yeah, just depends.
So he's one of them guys, he's a lot younger than me. He's always got that phone with him. And he can get on there just like that and look for what stuff has been selling for on eBay and Facebook and all that stuff. And he come back and he said, cheapest one with all the tooling and stuff like that's $900. Anyway, and
So you would have given $900?
Well, I might have. But say I buy enough more mics and tooling and stuff that I got $1,000 in it.
Okay.
I've still got a cheap boring bar. I've still got something that if you wanted to sell it, you could recoup your money in a heartbeat.
Okay.
It's not wore out, you know.
Okay, for sale by Debbie.
But anyway,
Right there, look at
I
it.
was thinking of one other thing.
I might even throw in Randall.
I was thinking of one other thing. I got an old junk block over out of a B, or C, I don't know.
A,
It's
B,
busted.
C, D, E, F, G.
But I was thinking I could put them A, and B, and C sleeves in that block and make me a fixture to hold them where they'd stay in there, and bore them things out 125 thousandths, which is an eighth of an inch, to Super C size, and then I could have brand new sleeves, and I got a bunch of used Super C pistons, and I could fix that. What you looking at my
Just-
pigeons
yes.
flying?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
But
that,
anyway, we just thought, I promised to make a video on this, so this is the video on the Van Norman boring bar.
Van Norman Boring
Yeah.
Bar.
You know, I'm gonna learn to use it and bore them cylinders out perfectly. You know, most stuff I would say is just good enough, but I want them cylinders when they're bored out. Then I've got a finish hone in different size stones. I can finish them things up. That last 2000s and put the proper cross hatching on them and everything. I know how to. I know what I need to do. I haven't done it yet, but I'm pretty confident that I can do it.
That's why you've been watching nothing but YouTube videos.
Yep.
I think I could do it.
I had a friend of mine I grew up with,
Yep.
and I was talking about boring bar and this and that. Another guy, we was at the drag racing, and everybody knew I was looking for one. And this guy said, "Hey, there's a boring bar on Facebook." And I'd done seen it on there, and it was a quick way, and didn't have no tooling with it, and this and that, and you know, it's rusted, and you know, I wanted like $700.
It was
for it.
yucky.
Anyway, and after he left, that other buddy come over and he said, "You know, I used to run the machine shop at Napa years ago." He said, "Couldn't really make any money at it." He said, "I went somewhere else." He said, "If you buy you a boring bar," and I told him, I said, "Well, I'm looking for a Van Norman." He said, "You buy you a boring bar," he said, "I'll show you how to use it." He said, "I'll teach you how to use it." He said, "You can bring it over to my shop." He said, "Well," he said, "I'll teach you how to use it." He said, "There's one tool you'll have to buy to measure that cutter." He said, "But everything else," he said, "I've got." He said, "I ain't got the one tool." And what he's talking about is this tool right here. But Mike, he's passed away on us.
Yeah,
He's long gone.
I liked him.
So, but if he was still around, I probably would have took this over to his shop. And we'd have played with it some. But I mainly just got this for my own use. And the reason I want it, there's guys I can get to bore block. One of them's up there in Caledonia, Missouri. He does good. He does work and don't overcharge and all that. But he's way up in Caledonia. And the other one, he's down at Paragould, and he's old and he takes his time and
Heck,
everything.
all
There's
of you
nothing wrong
guys
with
are
that.
old.
There's nothing wrong with that. But this way, I can do it myself. I've got a 396 block that's good, and I got a 402 that's got a busted cylinder wall. I want to bore that 396 30,000, make a 402 out of it. I've got a set of 375 horse, 327 TRW 30 over pistons. I want to bore 327 30 over. I've got a bunch of different. I've got a set of brand new pistons for 235 Chevrolet 60 over.
Can I ask you something?
What?
How long do you plan on living?
Over 100 at least.
Well, dadgummit.
100 at least.
Dadgummit.
Well, my grandma lived to be 100, and her mind was still good.
But I
Make
didn't
it.
see her out in the shop using a boring bar.
No, she sat in the kitchen. She'd cook.
And drink coffee.
Cook, drink coffee, and gripe about what the politicians was doing. And she was old, she didn't have a dog in that hunt, but she was still raving about what the politicians was doing.
Okie dokie.
That was her hobby. But anyway,
Anyway, I say
that's the Van Norman board bar. And
Uh-huh.
I think I've
Covered
learned about
everything.
all I'm going to learn from YouTube.
Uh-huh.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just practice.
Okie
And when I
dokie.
learn how to do it perfect, I'll take a video of me
Yeah,
doing it
yeah,
perfect.
he's not
But
gonna-
I ain't going to take a video of my mess ups. You ain't going to get to see it.
Hey, I'll sneak up and get behind him and video him.
Well, Debbie might sneak around and make a video of me doing messing up and throwing a Donald Duck fit because something.
Oh,
screwed up
yes.
badly.
And I don't know if you remember Donald Duck from years ago, but
Yeah,
Randall throws a Donald Duck fit.
yeah. My oldest son inherited that for me too. And I told his wife, I said, he throws a Donald Duck fit. And she said, I've seen it. And I said, I don't think you have. And then one day he did throw one.
Yeah.
And I went over and she said, I got to see one of them Donald Duck fits. She said, that's scary. She said, I got in my car and left.
I know. It's pretty scary. When Randall throws one, I want to get in a plane and fly away.
I haven't did that in years.
I know. You're too
Yeah.
old to jump around like and do all that gymnastics like you used to do.
But anyway,
Well, yeah, anyway, it's time to go. My legs are
Debbie's
getting
getting cold
cold.
and I need to put my toy back up.
Yes, that'll take
But
him.
I got one more toy I bought at the auction.
Okay.
I'll get it real quick.
Okay. Do 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 do. Yep. There it is. The thing he's always wanted. And here I thought it was me. Boy, howdy, he's disheartened it'd be. Oh my God, it's a long red box. Okay, what is this?
That's a bushing driver for driving bushings, like cam bushings and engines or any kind of bushings you want to drive.
Uh-huh. Why do you want to drive them?
Well,
A car's a lot easier.
I've got one, but it's not near as good as this.
If you say so, it just
Yeah.
looks like a piece of pipe.
I bought this and paid $27.50 for it.
Well, that's a lot better than your other price.
And I was looking at my tickets, and I kept looking through there, and
Uh-huh.
it said metal box with tool in it.
Uh-huh.
I was thinking, I didn't buy no metal box with a tool in it.
Uh-huh.
And I told Debbie, I said, they charged me for a metal box and tool $27.50. And I said, I never bought no metal box with a tool. But what it was,
It was this.
this
plastic box.
little girl writing down the tickets, she
See.
didn't realize this was a plastic box.
Well, then she's blinder than
She
you
put
are.
metal box on the ticket with a tool. But she did put red metal box with tool.
Okay. Okay.
And
Well, she, at least she
Then I
knew
got
the color.
thinking, I went going through my tickets and everything. I said, no, I know. I sit there in the truck and looked through there and made sure I got everything I bought, all the smalls.
Okay.
And I got one other thing.
Oh, Jiminy Crickets. I don't think he's going to be happy until I catch me a cold. Oh, it's broke now. I think he hurt himself. I'm putting that on my little Dodge Neon. When I go to town, I will go to town.
And it's not loose. It's tight.
It's not loose. It's
That's a
tight.
turbocharged off a semi-truck.
I'm going to put it on my car.
But what you can do, you run your exhaust in it, right here, and the exhaust comes out here, and it spins that.
But that's not what I asked you.
It
I
spins
I
that.
said, would it fit my car?
It spins that, and it draws air in right there. And
Yeah, I know a
spits it
little
out
bit
there.
about
And you
turbochargers.
rig that up to a carburetor and on your vehicle.
And
Well, how far do you think the rods fly out of that 283 Chevy if I put that turbocharger on it?
well, we can put a tape measure on them and then look up at the
Actually,
sky.
what I was thinking,
Yeah.
I've got one of them Chevrolet 292 6-cylinders.
Why do you want to blow it up?
Well, it'd run like crazy as long as it run.
But the,
what
that's,
short time it run.
I'd rather you sold it and got some money out of it than just blow it up.
Yeah. You can put it on a tractor.
We're not little kids no more. We just can't blow up stuff willy-nilly.
I don't know. Says the girl who wants a 55-gallon barrel of Tannerite.
Yes, I do want a 55-gallon barrel of Tannerite. I'm going to clean out from around here.
She said she wanted to move that white truck out of the way, and she's going to get a 55-gallon barrel of Tannerite.
Yes, I am.
I said, you probably get the neighbor's house and that chicken house and all the buildings of ours and everything. I said, there wouldn't be nothing standing.
Well, as long as that truck's gone, I don't really care.
But anyway.
Yes, it's time to go.
That sale, you can call it luck.
It's
or
not
whatever,
luck.
you know.
Not luck for me.
But that sale was one of them that's far and few between.
Yes,
It was a sale that was a buying sale where you could buy stuff worth the money. Mm-hmm. You know, some things sold, I thought, more than they was worth. There's an old semi-truck there, an old Diamond T with a V8 Detroit and a 10-speed. Thing, leaf spring, front end, and walking beam, rear suspension. I used to drive them old trucks years and years ago, and they beat you to death. I mean, every bump in the road jars your teeth. And I figured that old truck, I was looking at it, hadn't run years. I said, well, I wouldn't give more than $500 for it. It brought $7,000.
I know. I called them and I did a phone bid, and then I dropped it on somebody.
Yeah, okay. Well, they sent a fancy semi-truck up there to get it. It was a Diamond T.
Diamond T.
1966 Diamond T conventional cab.
Okay.
But one of them little short trucks, you couldn't walk between the tires and the cab of it.
You don't
Them
need...
little short trucks fall off at every hole in the road.
Well, that jars you awake when you're almost asleep. It's better than coffee.
I wasn't interested in the semi-truck in no way, shape, or fashion anyway.
Hey, now I like to watch the semi trucks go by.
Well, I don't mind seeing them go by either.
I still like the.
I don't mind hearing them go down the hill with their jake brakes on.
Yes,
That don't bother me.
I'm nostalgic for semi trucks.
It's just like her grandma lived by the train track.
Oh, and I loved listening to the
her
train.
grandma liked to hear the train go by.
I loved the train
She
too.
liked to hear the trains go by in front of her house. I mean, right at the end of her yard.
Yeah, I would go out there and
railroad
wave
tracks.
and wave. That's back when they had a engineer and a caboose.
Yeah.
And I'd wave at all the
She had
engineers
train
and the
tracks run right through her
cabooser.
front yard. Her driveway to get out, she had to cross railroad tracks to get out of her house.
Yep. Down in
But anyway,
what was
she
it?
had a nice little place
Huddig,
down
Arkansas.
South Arkansas.
Well, anyway, we need to let you go because my fingers are about to.
Okay. We'll say goodbye and good luck to you. And, you know, we've really been getting the views and the extra subscribers and all that.
And we really appreciate it. We really appreciate it. So please like and subscribe and share and comment below. And we'll get back to you as soon as we can, especially Randall. Me, I'm busier than a beaver in a treeless pasture. Anyway, I'm busy. So anyway, y'all have the bestest of day, and I think today is Wednesday. And y'all have a great day, and please like and subscribe and share and comment below. And we love y'all. Bye!